students in grade 6, today we are going to make a quick revision for all the concepts for first term, starting with the concept 1.1 with the title the cell. As we know that the cell is the smallest building unit of the living organism, and because its size is very small, so we cannot see with our naked eye, but we need to use the microscope to see the cell and all the components inside it. Then we talked about the composition of the human body when we said the body of the living organism consists of the cells. Cell and cell form tissues, a group of tissues form organs, and a group of organs form systems, and all the systems can form the whole body. Then we said that there are three types of cells: animal cell, plant cell, and also the bacteria cell. Let's see what are the common organelles between the plant cell and the animal cell, starting with the cell membrane or plasma membrane, which control what enter or leave the cell. Mitochondria, it's the powerhouse of the cell as it produces the needed energy through the cellular respiration process. The nucleus, which is responsible for formation of protein and cell division. Endoplasmic reticulum, collect and transporting protein. Golgi apparatus, packing and transporting different materials. And we end this concept with the 3D microscope, which is used by adding top side layers of the pictures, then add the colors and print it to see the very small organelles that we cannot see with our naked eyes. Then we will start in concept 1.2 with a title, the systems. When we started this concept, we said that the human body consists of many systems like the digestive, respiratory, circulatory, nervous system, and all these systems work together in an integrated way. So starting with if we have a nerve cell inside our body and it needs to do its main function, so it needs the nutrients. So which system provides it with the needed nutrients? The digestive system, and the nutrients can pass from the digestive to the nerve cell through the circulatory system, actually through the blood. Then we said that the whole body consists of cells, tissues, organs, system, and form the whole body. Like the starting from the smallest one, which is the cell, like the muscle cell, which is in a form of long fibers to allow movement. It can collect and use energy, and also it's very small in its size. Cell and cell form tissue and tissue form organs, and many organs form systems like the musculoskeletal system, which consists of tendons, ligaments, cartilages, muscles, and bones. Then we talked about the contraction and the relaxation. The movement of your arm, or movement of muscles in general, happens inside your body by the contraction and the relaxation. Then we talked about the digestive system, which consists of mouth, pharynx, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, large intestine, and anus. It is the system that is responsible for the digestion process inside your body. Also, we talked about the nervous system, and we can consider it as the maestro of the other systems inside your body. Also, we talked about the endocrine system, which consists of hormones that glands that secrete hormones that help your body to fight or to attack in any dangerous situation with the help of the circulatory system, which consists of the heart, the blood vessels, and also the blood. Also, we end this concept by the lessons of the artificial pancreas. When the pancreas can secrete insulin hormone, which regulates the sugar level in the blood. But when the when the pancreas cannot do its function correctly, and fail to do it, so people started to take insulin injection to help them to regulate the sugar level in the blood, or also they can transplant the artificial pancreas by a surgical process. This is from concept 2. Let's take a background about concept 1.3, which talks mainly about the electricity. Starting with the electricity, we said that the electricity, electric current, or the electrons, are the charges that move through the conducting wire. Also, we said that the electric circuit consists of the battery as a source of electricity, the wire to connect between the parts, the switch which controls the opening and closing the circuit, and also any electric device, may be lamp, may be radio, television, and so on. We can find in some electrical devices the switch in a form of internal one, like the thermostat, which is found in the fridge. Also, we said that materials according to the conductivity of the electricity are classified into electric conductors and also electric insulators. Very good. And don't forget that what are the methods of connection are series and parallel. Series connection has only one route for the electric current to pass through it, while the parallel has branching routes for the electric current to flow through it easily. Also in this concept we talked about the device which is called electromagnet, that works as a temporary magnet, and also we have another device which is called generator that consists of large magnets and covered coil. It's used to generate a large amount of electricity which is used in lighting houses and operating electrical devices. Don't forget the meaning of the resistor. Resistors are one of the components of the electric circuit that is used to slow down the flow of the electric current. And to avoid the damage of other components, we can find the resistor in electric stove, in toaster, and also in the electric microwave. Finally, we end this lesson by something called artificial pacemaker. We know that inside our heart we have a natural pacemaker which sends an electric current that causes the heart to contract and relax and beat regularly to pump the blood all over the body. But when the natural pacemaker fails to do its main function correctly, so people started to use the artificial pacemaker, which consists of the motherboard, the battery as a source of electricity, and conducting wire, which is covered by an insulator material. That's for concept 1.3. And this a quick revision for theme 1. Starting with the theme 2, concept 2.1 with the title the thermal energy. Let's see, when we started this concept, we started talking about the thermal energy, and we see that the thermal energy, it's a form of energy which is transferred from the higher temperature object to the lower temperature object. And when the molecules of hotter substance mixed with the molecules of cooler substance, so the molecules of hotter started to move slower, while the cooler started to move faster as it absorbed the energy. Also, we said that the atom is the smallest building unit of matter, and many atoms combined together they can form a molecule. And we classified the states of matter into solid, liquid, and gas according to their shape, their volume, their thermal energy, their motion of the particles between them. Then in this concept we talked about something called melting point. It is that temperature at which the matter started to change from solid state into liquid state, and the boiling point, it is the temperature at which the matter started to change from the liquid state to the gaseous state. Don't forget that the melting point of ice is 0, the boiling point of water is 100, and the boiling point of mercury 357. And the measuring unit of temperature is degrees Celsius, while the measuring unit of heat is called calorie. Then we end this concept with two processes, which are expansion and contraction. Expansion means that the volume of the molecules increases, that happen by the heating the matter. So the spaces between them increases and the force decreases, causing expansion. While the contraction, the volume decreases, the spaces decreases, and the molecules started to get close to each other. And because we have expansion and contraction, so we have some life applications about this. like the jar. When we cannot open the lid of the jar, we can pour on it the hot water, so you can open it easily, as the jar, its lid is made of metal, and we know that the metal expands by heating and contract by cooling. And the second life application here is the railway bars. So engineers leave small spaces between the railway bars or railroad tracks to avoid the train accident and to keep it expand safely and keep it from buckling or bending. Then this forward the concept 2.1. What about the last concept? Also the last concept talks about the thermal energy. Also we started this concept with the thermal energy, as it's a form of energy that transferred from the hot object to the cool object until they become equal in their temperature, and if they reach it to the same temperature, so the thermal equilibrium here will happen. Then we talked about the average temperature and the final temperature, and in ordinary states the average is equal to the final, but in some cases the final is than the average, and there is some of thermal energy transferred to the cold air that surrounds the object. Then we talked about the three methods of transferring heat, which are conduction through the solid objects, convection through the liquid and gas, radiation through the gases and the space. And don't forget that the heat of the sun will reach to the earth by which method? Only by radiation. Then we talked about the molecules of thermal energy. When it absorbed heat energy, it started to move faster, but the molecules of the cooler substance started to move slower. And then we talked about the energy in lesson 5, and we said that the law of energy says that energy is neither created nor destroyed, but it just changes from one form to another. And here we have the example of the marble. If you put the marble at the top of the track, it has the most potential energy, and when it started to move down, it will change from the potential energy into kinetic energy. But because there is a friction force here between the marble and the railroad track, so the sum of the kinetic energy changes into thermal energy, which decreases its speed gradually until it stops, and in some cases the marble cannot reach to the end of the track. Also we talked about the law of conservation of mass, and we said that the matter is neither created nor destroyed, it just changes from one form to another. But in some cases, if you have a moist air or a water inside the food, and the food started to evaporate, so as this case only, we can say that the mass may change. Then we talked about the last lesson in the concept talks mainly about the new materials. Scientists, to develop new materials, must study the chemical structure of the molecules and to know their properties. They also design the flexible fabric, smart clothes which light up in the dark and keep the body's temperature and also keep themselves clean. Also they can make steel which is made of iron and other elements, and also they can design concrete which is made of sand, water, rock. It becomes dry and hard after it's solidified, so it can use at the base of most of building and bridges. Also we can get new materials by a chemical change, like when we make the chemical change for some compounds of petroleum which is in a liquid state and easily burns, so we can get the plastic which is a tough solid and resist burning. Also we can get some materials by expose them to the heat energy, like the shrink wrap. We can add heat to plastic and to get the shrink wrap. Also the last material which is glass. Glass is made up of limestone, soda ash and sand. We can mix them together and expose them at a high temperature in a hot stove or a hot furnace and mix them together, so we can get the glass in a liquid state or in even a molten state. And we can make a process which is called glass blowing to make different shapes of glassware and finally leave it to be cooled, and we can use it as we want. So today we made a quick revision for theme 1, concept 1, which talks about the cell and the function of each organelle inside it. Concept 2, 1.2, which talks mainly about the systems and the function for each organ and how do the systems work together in an integrated way to fight a dangerous situation. In concept 1.3 talks mainly about the electricity. We talked about the components of the electric circuit, the function for each part, the methods of connection which are series and parallel, the structure of the electromagnet, the structure of the dynamo, and the devices that illustrate the relationship between magnetism and electricity, and the devices that have resistors. And also we talked about the pacemaker and how can we make and use it correctly. In theme 2, starting with 2.1, concept 2.1 with the title The Thermal Energy, we explained the states of matter and compared between them very clearful, and also we talked about how does the thermal energy transfer from an object to another, the methods of transferring heat, the factors that affect the speed of transferring heat, and the difference between a contraction and expansion. Also in the last concept we talked about the thermal energy also, and the law of conservation of mass, the law of conservation of energy, the transformation of energy between potential and kinetic energy, and the wasted energy will be what? And we finally end the concept with the lesson of the new materials and how do the scientists create new materials and what are the ways that they use to get these materials in a correct way. That's for theme 1 and theme 2 for grade 6 for the first term. Just study the lessons well and answer more and more different questions, and I wish you a good luck and best wishes for the exam. Thank you for your listening and I wish you a good day. Bye bye.